Have you ever noticed that when you drop an apple into water, it just floats, not sinks, not struggles? It's just casually floating, like it pays rent there. Now compare that to a rock. Drop a rock in water, and it disappears faster than your motivation on Monday morning. So what is going on here? Why does a heavy apple float, but a smaller rock sinks? The answer is not magic. It is physics. And it is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to something called density. Density is just how tightly packed something is. Imagine two boxes of the same size. One is filled with feathers. The other is filled with bricks. Same size. Very different weight. The brick box is more dense. Water has its own density. If something is less dense than water, it floats. If it is more dense than water, it sinks. So where does the apple stand? Here's the fun part. Apples are about 25% air. Yes, your apple is basically a crunchy balloon. Inside the apple's flesh are tiny air pockets. These pockets lower the apple's overall density. So even though it feels solid, it is actually full of microscopic air bubbles. That trapped air makes the apple less dense than water. And when something is less dense than water, water pushes it up. This pushing force is called buoyancy. Buoyancy is water saying, "Nope, you are lighter than me. Stay on top." When you put the apple in water, gravity pulls it down, but the water pushes back up. Because the apple is less dense, the upward push wins. So it floats. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you squeeze the air out of an apple, hypothetically, please do not try to compress apples for science. But if somehow you removed those air pockets, the apple would sink. Same apple, different density, different result. This is also why ships made of heavy steel can float. Steel is dense, but ships are hollow. They contain a lot of air inside. That lowers their overall density enough to float. Your apple and a giant cargo ship follow the same rule. Physics does not care if you are fruit or metal. Now here's something even cooler. When you bob for apples during Halloween, you are literally benefiting from density physics. Apples float right at the surface, making them easy targets for your face. Science made that game possible. You are welcome. But there is a deeper lesson here too. Things are not always what they seem. The apple looks solid and heavy, but inside it has space, air, lightness. In life, sometimes people look strong on the outside, but are carrying air pockets of doubt. Sometimes you look not ready, but inside you have hidden strength. Just like the apple floats because of what is inside it, you rise because of what is inside you. Okay? That sounded dramatic for a fruit, but it is true. So next time you see an apple floating in water, remember this. It floats because it is lighter than it looks. Because inside, it is not just solid matter. It is structured space, and that tiny invisible detail changes everything. Physics is simple, but it is powerful. And sometimes the biggest mysteries in life can be explained by tiny pockets of air, even in an apple.